Ain't this what they've been waiting for? Hold on, wait a minute. You ready?
So tell me what's happening tonight.
Well, why should we draft you?
Coach, I'm a difference maker. I'm a dog. I've been able to kind of cement myself in 2 prestigious programs. I think I've been able to allow. I think people have found a way in both places to follow me, and I'm not going in this deal, going in these places saying, "Hey, come on, y'all gotta follow me," or that's earned. That's not good.
Jalen Hurts, quarterback, Oklahoma.
Jalen Hurts right now is the best quarterback in the NFC.
This kid's a winner.
Right.
He has tremendous intangibles.
Ready?
He's an off-the-chart leader, and he can get his team to rally behind him.
I used to pray for times like this.
Everything that I want to do is just quantify my work. Just quantify the work that I put in. I don't really like to look at the results. Never like to look at the results, just the process of getting better. You can look back and say that there are so many things that can motivate me and drive me to want more and to be the best. And why do I just keep getting up and going and going and going? But I had a purpose before everybody had an opinion. It's not about anybody else.
Hurts throwing, end zone touchdown is caught for the touchdown. Hurts slant, Brown lunge, touchdown Philadelphia. Smith in motion, Hurts on 4th and goal. He's going to run for it. Hurts, touchdown. Excellent job by Jalen Hurts to get that touchdown. 2nd and goal. A juggle of the snap. Hurts found it, and there's the end zone ahead for another Philadelphia touchdown.
Your first reaction when you were told Tua is going to start the second half?
Gotta win the game, one way or another. I'm always gonna be a team guy. Coach, he made the decision that he made. I mean, we're national champions. I'll be able to say that for the rest of my life.
You smile about it as I bring that memory up. Why?
That day made me who I am. I wouldn't change it for the world.
Hurts has a lot of space over here. Take it off. Anybody gonna catch him? All the way down to the 5-yard line.
11th play of this drive. It's 3rd and 8. Down the field they go, and he's got his second touchdown of the game. A.J. Brown.
On 3rd and 8, pressure coming out of the secondary. Took off, end zone ahead, touchdown. 22 yards, he straight up sliced the protection again, launched downfield. Watkins wide open, touchdown on top.
Last 3 plays have gone for first downs. Look at this. Oh my goodness. Haskell with the touchdown.
You know, I always hold myself to a very high standard. You look back and you're gonna reflect on the things. Maybe you could have done something more. Maybe you could have tried and done something to change the outcome of the game. And that's the way it was. You either win or you learn.
Century, doing something mean to it. Do it better than anybody you ever seen do it. Screams from the haters, got a nice ring to it. I guess every superhero need his theme music. No one man should have all that power. The clock's ticking, I just count the hours. Stop tripping, I'm tripping off the power. The system broken, the school's closed, the prison's open. We ain't got nothing to lose, motherfucker, we rollin'. Motherfucker, we rollin'. With some light-skinned girls and some Kelly rollin'. And this white man world, we the ones chosen. So good night, cool world, I see you in the morning. I see you in the morning. This is way too much, I need a moment. No one man should have all that power. The clock's ticking, I just count the hours. hours. Stop tripping, I'm tripping off the power. Till then, fuck that, the world's ours. No one man should have all that power. The clock's ticking, I just count the hours. Stop tripping, I'm tripping off the power. Till then, fuck that, the world's ours. Thoughts is Napoleon, my furs is Mongolian, my ice brought the goalies and I embody every characteristic of the egotistic. He knows he's so fucking gifted. I just needed time alone with my own thoughts. Got treasures in my mind, but couldn't open up my own vault. My talent like creativity, purity, and honesty is honestly being guided by these grown thoughts. Reality is catching up with me, taking my inner child, I'm fighting for custody. With these responsibilities that they entrusted me, as I look down at my diamond and crusted piece, thinking no one man to have all that power. The clock's ticking, I just count the hours. Stop tripping, I'm tripping off the powder.
What up, Countrywide Eagles Podcast, man? Salute, bro. Sean Davis.
3, 2, 1. Click.
And guess what? I love you. I love you. I love you.
You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. You really are a heel. You're a...
Technical difficulties. Lord,
Ho, 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 ho! Merry Christmas! Ho, 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 ho.
Welcome to a very Christmas edition of the Countrywide Eagles podcast, ladies and gentlemen. I am the founder of the Countrywide Eagles Tailgate Mafia, the master of ceremonies, Santa Claus this evening. My name is Dennis. To my right, my little helper.
Hello, I'm Logan and I'm now.
To the south.
I am Shawn and I am the Grinch. The mask was killing me, but here we are.
All right, beard's too hot. Hat's too hot. All right, that was fun while we did it. We got some business to get to right out the jump. This year we were able to do some great things with some ticket giveaways. We're going to bring on two of our admins, moderators who are actually in charge of it, along with a few others. And they will be telling y'all about next year's ticket giveaway. So we're going to give the floor to Liz. Amy's got a little bit of back. We'll figure it out.
Amy, why don't you go ahead? I'm sorry, what was that?
I said, why don't you go ahead?
So for the ticket giveaway, is it like real echoey? That's my only fear right now.
No, only when someone else talks.
Okay. So for the ticket giveaway, we're looking to kind of change things up a little bit. And pick somebody and do tickets for them for a game. So we're still trying to figure out how to work out all of those small details. Liz, do you have anything else to add with that?
I would just add to it that Logan was the recipient of what this group did. They're very excited to be part of planning and getting organized for the next recipient.
So y'all heard it here first. We're going to be bringing back the ticket giveaway, and we'll focus on that once we get later into the next year. We'll have you submit your stories to our Countrywide Eagles podcast, and also message our admins too as well, and that'll go through a board, and then we'll decide who will get tickets, and then of course that'll be a game of our choosing for next season when the schedule comes out. We're supposed to we'll start taking applications for that. When do you guys think you want to start doing that?
We can do it maybe after the first of the year.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe. I would say maybe after the Super Bowl. Or at least stay focused on this year.
So what we'll do is we'll probably go about 2 weeks. We'll bring up the ticket giveaway. Why they deserve to come to the link.
Sounds good.
Well, we appreciate you. Appreciate all the work. On the page.
Then now the echo will be gone. Good job, Amy. All right, I'm putting the elf back on there.
Now Amy can just go watch and relax. She doesn't have to sit here with us.
That's right. Here's your elf back. See y'all.
Thanks, Amy. So, how's my friends today?
Not too shabby.
So, we get right into it. We got some other guests that are going to be with us today, but we're going to do one more. We're going to bring up one more thing. We're going to be doing a silent auction on stream here. Hope everybody's doing well. There will be it's not a silent auction. It's going to be an auction on stream. Starting bid is going to be $100. It's going to be for that signed Brandon Graham picture right there in the back. You can put your bid in right through the comments, and we'll have it going right across the bottom of the screen. The starting bid is $100 for it. It is a signed Brandon Graham photo with a JSA certification to it. It is the sack against Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. Great Christmas gift. We can get that sent out to you as soon as possible. And we appreciate your support, and thank you for being here. If you haven't liked or followed both the pages, we'd greatly appreciate it if you do. And with that said, we have two wonderful guests with us. I've become really good friends with these guys, and they've been continuous supporters of the brand of entertainment that we're applying. It's going to be Jae and Warren from the Eagles Collective. They were supposed to be with us last week, but some people did not want to be with us, so he decided that they wanted to come this week. Welcome to the stream, fellas. How we all doing?
We good, man. We good. Sorry about last week, but we here now.
Jay, you got Christmas. Me down there, bro.
It's an early Christmas gift.
I'll take it.
I'm with it.
You there, Jay? Oh, Jay's muted.
Why is Jay muted? Jay shouldn't be muted.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I said I just moved. If y'all can see, my house is empty. All I got is Eagles gear in here.
That a boy.
How y'all doing?
Before we start, I want to shout out your co-host Shawn because I loved his energy the post-game show last week. The way he was feeling when I hit that live, bro, I put it on loud so my girl can hear. Like, you see how this kid feels? How I feel. Everything you were saying was so true, bro. And I like the energy because that was like a raw emotion. Like, that's how we all felt. You were speaking for all of us, bro.
I appreciate the alcohol helped. I'll tell you that much.
I could tell you. He was a little fired up. He was a little fired up. I could tell.
Oh yeah, I was already snapping before the video started. My fiance's over there trying to fall asleep, and I'm over here. We need to get rid of Bradberry, yada yada yada. And yeah,
because I was ripping Bradberry one, and then you started. So then I told my girl, listen to this. Listen to what he's saying. Yep. Well, everything I just told you, he's repeating it times 10.
Exactly.
So, I want to get right into this. I'm trying to edit as we go here, so I'm trying to run an auction and do a podcast. So. Jay, Warren, welcome to the Countrywide Eagles podcast. How did the Eagles Collective start?
Jay, you want to take it or?
Yeah, I'll explain it briefly. So the Eagles Collective started kind of like without even not even on purpose. We were part of another show, and he decided to go his own way, and he basically left us to dry. And we were preparing the off season to join the show, so we decided to do our own. And 3 days before the season, we just started figuring out StreamYard and everything. We had no choice. It's like we don't want to give up on what we had hopes for all summer.
Yeah, especially with the way the Eagles had last year going,
Yeah.
and with the momentum that we had, it was a lot of build up, a lot of investment into what we were doing, and to just cut ties like that, we couldn't just end off on that note. So, yeah, me and Jay just we had a lot of good conversations about it before. Hey, at the end of the day, it's just commitment. That's all it is. It's commitment. You do it every day. We talk about it. Communication's there, and we just moved forward with it, and here we are now.
Absolutely. And Warren came up with the name. Warren, you know, he came up with the name, the Eagles Collective, because basically, like you brought us on your show, we go to anybody, like we're one collective group of fans. So we're basically just trying to bring everybody together. Same thing Dennis is trying to do. Unite you Eagles fans.
I try. Bad hairline and all.
You're doing pretty good. I think you're doing pretty good.
So I guess we can kind of break this down. What is your guys' initial opinion on the state of the Eagles right now?
My state of the Eagles right now is it's actually going to either be one or two things. Either we're going to fall flat on our face like we did that postseason game when we lost to the Bucks, or we're going to be that underdog team in 17. That's my thoughts on it. It's going to be either or. You can't listen to the media right now.
Thanks, Sean.
Yeah, you can't listen to the media just because they're just going to pollute your head with just crap. But I personally think that we have a good team and we can take it as far as we can. It sounds like it's a personnel, in-person locker room issue right now, and they can get that fixed. Once they get that fixed, we'll see the team that we all know that we have.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm very optimistic usually, but my patience ran out after the Seahawks game. That I hit the top after the Seahawks game. I'm starting to get a little bit, not optimistic about them and thinking a pessimistic mindset about the team. Because it's like I don't want to think that they teased us all season, not because they are better than what they've been playing, but it's just like I don't have as much faith in them right now. And now we're about to play 3 lowly opponents, and it's like if we smoke them, what does that really say about us? So it's just like I just hope it was the gauntlet thing. I hope it's an in locker room thing. I hope it's just a little things that could get fine-tuned to bring this team back, but something's going on because this team's way too talented to be sliding like this.
But we got a momentum we can build up with these games that we got.
It's hard to be optimistic. It's hard to be optimistic after that Seahawks game because that game was like the Jets game. They handed that game away. You should be running the ball. There's minutes left. Run the freaking ball. Salt the clock away. Short dump off checkdowns. Why are we taking shots? Like I said, it's hard to be super optimistic. I don't want to be negative Nancy on here, but after the Seahawks game, that's why I had to thank Shawn right away because I lost it. I lost it. I'm like, yo, I've been trying to defend this team all season, and it's like I lost it after that game because it's like, how did we give that one away? But also, 50 million good things had to go perfect for Seattle. Like everything went perfect on that drive. Drew Lock, the drive of his career, like Colin Cowherd said.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. And at the end of the day, it's situational things that are messing us up. It's all situational, whether it's situational with the coaching play, situational with the player dropping the ball, fumbling the ball, whatever. It's all been situational.
Well, they were killing it last year. They were killing it.
It's like, why can't we just fix it? But I will tell you guys this. If this team would have lost to the Chiefs and the Bills and the Dolphins, I would kind of be where y'all are, to where it's like I can't see it. But at the end of the day, it can happen. They gotta fix something they got going inside. That's all it is.
Yep.
So when it comes to the state of the Eagles, we kind of talked about it on Monday with the breakdown and with where the teams went this week and how people have responded. Jalen sounded a lot better in his press conference. He doesn't sound beat up. He doesn't sound like he's
sick.
In pain.
He was sick at that post game. I never heard him sound like that. Never heard. Like people are complaining, the guy is sick. How do you feel when you're sick? I tell Eagle fans complaining about him for this game need to find another team to root for because The guy is sick. When you're sick, you don't go to work. You call your boss and say, I can't go to work.
Correct.
This guy's sick and had to go on Monday Night Football. Like, come on. You could hear it in his voice after the game.
Dude, I get a cold and I'm taking the day off. You know what I mean?
Exactly. If I
get to fly across the country and still go play one of the most athletic games that you got to play, right? Where you're throwing, running, doing everything that you can. And he didn't even, I understand he didn't look great, but given the circumstances and looking back on it now, he also didn't look like absolutely horrible. Like, I know that's hard to kind of get, right? But like with just to go into it, right? Like they could have had another touchdown. I think if that Kelsey call doesn't happen, I think you win that game 9 times out of 10. That's my opinion.
You're talking about the full start?
Yeah.
So it's funny because they got warned about that before the game, like they said, and it's crazy that flag was important too.
But Kelsey's always done that though. That's always.
But they warned them before the game, like we're gonna call it if you do. He's stealing a yard, half a yard, quarter yard every time he's doing it, and they warned them. The guy still did it.
Yeah.
So the biggest thing, I mean, you can't really use. Everybody's saying you can't use the flu as an excuse. You can't say it affects your decision making. In a sense, it can affect your decision making.
That's not true.
It can.
I agree. Yeah,
because again, you're thinking about, I'm in pain. I got to find a way to push through this and deal with it. But I see what Kai's saying too. Chicken shit excuse. We're hardcore fans. We want our guys to just play through it and push. But we also got to remember they're humans too, just like us. I see his point though. And then you look at the press conference that Sirianni did on Tuesday, and it was like, he's like, Brian Johnson's using my playbook, and it's not changed in 2 years. Well, there's the fucking problem. He's calling your plays that are 2 years old.
That are super vanilla. That Christian McCaffrey is embarrassing us on that reel, calling on our play, and he said, he never ran that play before. BS, bro. You think he took a wild guess? Like, come on, don't BS us. Like,
that's what doesn't make any sense to me on that.
It don't make sense. He's lying. He's
what doesn't make sense is sorry to cut you off, but what doesn't make sense is if you went to the Super Bowl with those plays, knowing that you're entering in the next season when everybody is going to want to be on your head and everybody is going to play you like it's their Super Bowl, why are you not changing up anything? Why not change it? Like, I just feel like that wasn't a good answer, but what I can say is the fact that he did admit that, I guarantee there's going to be changes on the offense now. The fact that he did admit it, because he doesn't want signs outside saying get rid of Sirianni.
Now, what I will say is this, is Kai did say it 4 weeks ago. I will give him credit for that because he did say that to me, Shawn and Logan in a stream. So, Kai, you were right, and I'll give you that. I still think Brian Johnson can't call a play to save his life. The only thing he could call is a play on NCAA when he was on the college cover, but whatever.
He was successful.
And that's because somebody picked it for him. This team is in trouble with signs of light. Matt Patricia is officially the defensive coordinator. That officially got changed. Thank God. This team has got a lot to fix in a short amount of time. And if they don't, it's not going to be good.
You know what, Dennis? I think the defense played better minus the final drive, because you know what? When they gave the ball back to the defense, I said, we got this game, because this defense been making stops the whole game. They've been getting stops, getting off on third down, and they just dropped the ball. I think we're better off with Patricia, him playing the younger corners. Did you see? We put the younger. Imagine if we would have played the younger corners earlier in the season, they would be a little bit more seasoned at this point. So they're gonna take lumps. Sidney Brown was playing well, but he missed 2 crucial tackles, and that allowed Yak after the yards after the catch. So to be honest, their offense is just vanilla. It's too predictable. It's just too predictable. There's no motion. There's nothing that you watch other teams, the misdirection, the end. There's nothing. Nobody's moving. Everything is just there. There's no pre-snap motion. It sucks. It sucks.
No, and I'm with you. A lot of people have said that. Hey Vince, how you doing, buddy?
Yeah, Vince made a good comment, so I want to go back to him and get a chance. About Hurts, yeah, Hurts looked by the fourth quarter like he was dejected with energy. He had no energy left, and you could see it on the sideline. He looked like he was just trying to find a bed to go to sleep.
It's almost like
I gotta show something. I gotta show something. It's very important. Yes, that man trying to lay a boomstick.
He went
right there.
He put in work. He made some plays. I like if he slows down a little bit because he's running. He overshot those.
He just
2 plays.
overcommitted. I don't blame him at all.
Yeah, he's aggressive, and I like that.
So the next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna look back on each game, kind of give a small input and see what everybody thinks. And just we'll listen in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. If you didn't know, also, the silent auction is up to, or not silent auction, but the auction's up to 131 for the Brandon Graham photo. It is actually right behind Shawn. When Shawn gets it, we'll get it pulled up so people can see it closer. It's kind of hard to because it's taped to the wall.
Gotcha.
Current bid is $131. Just post your bid in the comments and we'll get that sent out to you and get in touch with you how to get it to you. First game, because I was there, 49ers game. My initial thought was I was there, I watched it, and then I watched it all take a shit. The team, it just, like, the first quarter was like, all right, thumbs up, thumbs down. Purdy was panicking because he's seen Hassan Reddick. Then he's seen Jalen Carter. And then it was just like, all right, we got this. We're holding them to negative 14 yards.
Yeah.
So it was like, where are we at? And then we kicked 2 field goals and couldn't score.
How do you get dominated and get blown out in 3 quarters? Like, that's what I'm trying to say. They negative yards the first quarter, then they got blown out in 3 quarters. That's the type of game this team is playing. This is how much we've been teased all. I keep saying the Eagles are flirting with us, bro. They keep flirting with success, flirting with us, pretending like they're gonna. And I just don't know because they got blown out in 3 quarters in that game, bro. 3 quarters it took to blow them out.
Jay, what was your initial feeling of the 49ers game?
That game, I hadn't seen Hurts lose like that since his rookie season. So, that happens. Teams get blown out. What was more concerning to me was when they got blown out the next week. That was more concerning because you could afford to get blown out once in a while and come back. It happened to the 94 49ers. They got blown out, ironically, by the Eagles in 94 and then went on and won the Super Bowl. So it's not unlikely to get blown out. It's getting blown out twice. That's the problem for me. So the first one was okay. 49ers are the team to beat. They're the team to beat. After that game, they made it very clear they were the team to beat. Because going into that game, people were still didn't know who they choose, Eagles or 49ers, and nobody's going to pick Philly over San Francisco at the present moment.
Shawn, I mean, we kind of touched on it when we had the podcast. What was, looking back on it now after these last 3 weeks, where are you at with it?
With which one?
The 49ers game.
40. I mean, I said myself that I personally just think that the 49ers are just one of the best teams in the league, top to bottom. I mean, you look at offense, you look at defense, they look like a complete team. Do I think we could still beat them? For sure. I just think it comes down to, because, any given Sunday, any team can be any team. That's just what it is. What I got to ask Kai real quick, just so I can, because I've been letting it go just to let it all go. But I'm curious if you mean all 22 minutes of that last show, because I still have the firm belief that it came down to play calling. I don't think here's my problem with some Philly fans. This isn't just Kai, but this is what I've seen over the last couple weeks, right? Or last week specifically, right? Like, I feel like we run good players out of Philadelphia sometimes. Like, I feel like we do that because we're too overcritical. We can be critical and we can say, hey man, like, this team, this guy didn't play great. This guy didn't do this. So we want more, and that's fine. But like, we can't consistently just shit just on the players. It does come down to coaching in some of this, for sure. And I've seen that over a lot of these games. I've seen some of the play calling this season compared to last season, right? I think when you have a QB like Jalen Hurts, you have to call plays that are going to work with that type of quarterback, right? In my opinion. So when you look at somebody like Jalen Hurts, we were calling RPOs. We were calling better plays. We weren't just calling these weird screens to the right that everybody knows it's coming because they're all over to the right. And this includes with the 49ers game. There was some terrible play calling on that side. Defensively, it was pretty bad too. I think it was pretty bad. I think Matt Patricia coming in for that Seahawks game was a godsend. I think he actually made the defense look good. Did they play great? No, but that was 3 days of him doing play or going with them. Yeah, it's only going to get better,
Still rusty.
Exactly. And honestly, the more that he continues to get some of these weapons back, Maddox being one of them, it's going to continue to look better. But yeah, so the 49ers game, just jump back into it. Like I said, I think the 49ers are just one of the best teams in the league. I think it's hard for anybody to beat them. And we haven't looked up, kind of like they've been saying all year. We haven't looked great. We haven't played up to the standard that the Eagles have established. So yeah, I don't know. It was heartbreaking. That one hurt a lot. I'll tell you what, because it showed a lot of holes. And I feel like since that game, we haven't really looked right since, which I don't know if that's how you guys feel, but that's just how I feel, man.
Warren, what was your feeling after the 49ers game?
Kind of what Sean was saying. It opened up a lot of our deficiencies and where we need to get better at. But that game alone, it was a measuring stick game. It showed us where we were at. And I also think it's a little funny, but I think it was kind of like Rocky 1 and Rocky 2. The first movie, Rocky lost, and he said, all right, I'm going to go back and get him. Rocky 2, he takes him out, and we just happen to be Apollo Creed at that moment. So, like, that's the way I look at it. But at the end of the day, it opened up our areas and what we need to fix.
Questions. It opened up questions.
Yeah, it opened up where we need to fix. Now it's that time to where are we going to fix it, or are we just going to fold and lay down and just get ran over by every team that we play?
You know what? I want to add something real quick before we go to the next person. That game, they gave up 314 passing yards, 212 yards after the catch. Poor tackling was a big part of that game. If they just make tackles and stops and don't let Debo, those plays, Debo was getting through these skinny of blocks. He was just getting in between. It was like the play was perfectly tailored. You take away those two plays and the game is different. You got to make them work to get that feel. Purdy is a weird quarterback. He's 32nd in pass attempts and he's seconds in yards per play. So think about that. That means that his players are getting the ball and running wild. So if you could find a way to tackle these guys and get them off their blocks, because their blocking is huge. They rely heavily on the other players to block and get these yards after the catch.
Logan, you were there, your first game at the Link with all those surprises. What was your initial feeling?
So, like you just said, I was at the game and got to see the collapse from the offense in post, and our defense just couldn't tackle to save their lives, and obviously it came back to bite us. Moore was missing tackles left and right, and the game was just extremely disappointing. And our linebackers, like he just said, just did terrible. And the Niners are going to be number one in the NFC. They're not losing two of their remaining games. They have an easy schedule. So they're getting number one. But all we need to do is win the NFC East and move on, get to the playoffs, and just perform. The initial thought of that game was just how did this manage to happen? Because, we were looking unstoppable, and then we got steamrolled.
That's a fact.
3 quarters.
Yeah. Such a fact. I was so hyped after that first quarter. I'm over here these Niners about to send these Niners.
I was there. How do you think I felt?
I could imagine how. I was about to say, I could imagine how you guys felt.
Yeah,
the energy just probably went all the way.
Fan 8 seats away from me. I'm like, yeah, bang bang bird gang. Ain't no bang bang Niner gang then.
Bang bang on you at the end.
I was like this: thumbs up, thumbs down, and then shit.
In the rain.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to flash the picture up on the screen. This is the image that's up for auction right now. It's up to $131. It is right behind Sean, but I was able to find another picture that I can pull up. We can get this sent right out to you. All payments can be sent through Cash App or PayPal. That'll be posted right below right there. If you guys have any questions about that, please just ask us and we'll get it up there for you. We appreciate all the support that you can do. This goes towards helping us pay for tickets and supplies of tailgates. So now we'll kind of jump into it. It's the Cowgirls game. I was there for that. The debacle. Or no, I wasn't at the Cowgirls game. I was at the first one. This is the bad one. So the Dallas game in Dallas. Where are you guys at? I feel like that game it got out of hand real fast. Once Dallas hit 10 points and they had a lead, it was like they gave up. That was just my opinion. Jay, what do you think?
You know, they're talking about the first Cowboys game or second?
Second.
Yeah, second. Like I said, and somebody wrote that we really didn't get blown out. Let me not reiterate that because we kind of didn't get blown out the score because the second half they only gave up 3 field goals, 9 points. The defense played super well, but the offense did nothing. So, you know, the game was just lopsided more. And then the 3 fumbles inside Cowboys territory at the 12, 20, and 37. You know, that was a luck of a draw. Like, I just think the Eagles had 2 back-to-back bad weeks where everything went right for the other team. Because think about it. 3 fumbles in Cowboys territory. At the minimum, if you get a field goal of each, that's 9 points. It just makes the game different. If you get 2 touchdowns out of that, you have 14 more. It just changed the game. So that my concern started rising up until that game. It was high. I was just been concerned with them since the Niners game, like Sean said. Since the Niners game, they've looked weird. That's how I like to put it.
Okay, Sean, I know we don't want to like relive the the pain.
Yeah.
Where were you at on that one?
Yeah, I saw what Kai said, the self-inflicted. Yeah, it totally was, man. I mean, that was the game where there was like 3 people that fumbled. It was AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, and Jalen.
All 3 of our stars. All 3
Yeah.
20 yard, 12 yard, and 37. I remember the freaking where the ball was at.
That they could have caught.
Yeah. So that game right there, I mean, it just goes to show that I don't think that our team is like terrible. Like there's some people who are like, the season's over, it's done. I don't think that's true. That game right there kind of just proves if we can clean up some of these simple mistakes that we're making, like that's still a winnable game. I don't think that's a game that, you know, we should have definitely lost. That's what makes those games even harder to watch or harder to process is you're like, dude, we should have won that. That's like the Seahawks game. So like, if you look at all 3 of these games, I mean, I'm going to say kind of the same thing for this one. It's like we could have won that, but we gave them the game. And that's the worst type of losses. If somebody blows you out and they genuinely beat you and you made no mistakes, like you're like, okay, well, at least we played all the way up. Right. But I don't know, self-inflicted mistakes. I mean, it came to really hit us in that Cowboys game, and it was hard to watch.
They were moving the ball like that. They were moving the ball. It's tough.
Yeah.
Warren, what was your feeling?
Well, my thought process on that was I didn't think we were going to win that anyway, and it's not to be negative or anything, but maybe Dennis, you can look this up. But when was the last time NFC East team? When was the last time the Cowboys beat the Eagles back to back, or when the Eagles beat the Cowboys back to back? It's usually always like
we usually split. I think 2 years ago they swept us.
Yeah, like it's more where we always just are split. The fact that the Cowboys are just more dominant at home,
true.
That takes into account of that. But I think we could have been a little bit more competitive if the balls weren't dropped. All those turnovers is what hurt us, and I think a little bit of everybody was just not ready for that game. Coming 6 games after the 49ers game, Cowboys only had 10 days to prepare for us. Like, that's what you're going up against. I personally, and I don't know if Jay agrees with this because I always bring it up. I swear, if both teams had 10 days to prep for each other, I think it would be a different scenario on both ends.
Yeah. We played both of them on short. They had 3 days rest. That's part of the hardest schedule. Like they screwed the Eagles this year with the schedule.
That's what makes our schedule. That's what made it the hardest schedule.
They truly try to screw them. Like, you know what? Let's just try that. And look where they're standing. Still tied for first. Still in position. You know, I've been watching football for over 20 years. Like, weird things happen. You see a team like this sliding, and then all of a sudden you get in January, it gets cold, it starts changing, you start running the rock. You know, things can change. Things can change quickly.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we'll see that over the next 3 games, to be honest.
Yeah, they're going to start gearing up.
Logan, where were you at with the Cowgirls game? What are you thinking?
So, you know, entering the game, I thought the Eagles were going to win simply because Hurts hasn't lost 2 games in a row since his rookie season, I think it was. So I thought that we were going to win, but Dallas is very dominant at home. And, it probably should have been expected that they were going to win, but I don't think anybody would have expected that to be a blowout. And, our offense just did not perform on Sunday, and the 3 turnovers were absolutely killer. And, AJ Brown dropping that not perfectly thrown pass in the end zone that led to, was it a field goal or punt? I don't remember, but you have to make those catches. You need to get points when you're playing a team as dominant as Dallas when they're at home. You can't be making mistakes like that. And Fletcher Cox and Jalen Carter, that fumble and scoop and score was great, but that was our only highlight basically of the game because we just did not show up.
Pass the torch. That's all I'm saying. Pass the torch.
I saw Liz's comment, and I somewhat agreed with that, where it said nobody panicked in the Niners when the Niners basically lost their 3 games in a row. I think the only difference and why you're seeing a little bit more panic is that this is right towards the end of the season as we're going into the playoffs. Like where the Niners kind of did it a little bit. It was like more in the middle of the season.
It was early.
Yeah, very early.
They went right after their losses as well.
Right.
So
when you do that, like when you go on a 3-game losing streak in the middle and then you fix, you have plenty of time to fix it. I think people are worried that we don't have enough time to fix it, which I'm not one of them. Like I said, I think these next 3 games, you win them. I don't think you can lose to the Giants on Monday. If that happens, I promise you, like even the most loyal fans are going to be.
I'll mail it in. Yeah, I'll mail it in. I'll mail in my
the most of loyal of fans. Like, of course, I'm still going to love my team and I'm going to want them to do great, right? But like, if they lose this Giants game, man, it's going to be a hard hitting game for a lot of fans where they're just going to feel like just terrible about it.
I want to bring something up. Randy just said they were playing without starters on offense. That's true. The Niners were without Trent Williams and without Debo, so that's a little scary to me too. Because when they're full strength, they're hard to beat. We're full strength right now, almost, and we're losing, so that concerns me a little because. You know what happens when the Eagles are without Lane Johnson? That's basically Trent Williams is their Lane Johnson. When he's out, problems arise from all hell. So, so that's concerning to me that the fact that they only dropped 3 games because they were missing Debo and Trent Williams is we have to be. They could easily be undefeated right now, which is scary, man.
Yeah,
it's all Big Dom's fault.
Hey, McCaffrey, you see them missing a bunch of people.
Yep.
I know they had a bunch of injuries those 3 games.
Yeah, and like Kai said, the mistakes that we are making are very correctable. It's facts. That's what we were kind of saying a little bit ago, like 100%. So even though it's happened towards the end of the season, you have these last 3 games that I think you can go crazy on and kind of turn the fan base around and get a little bit of like almost a rejuvenated feeling going into the playoffs. So that's really what I want to see. As long as I see that, I'll be happy.
I like that. I like the way you put that because they don't have to have the hustle and the worry. Are we going to get in? You're in already. Where you're going to seat in the playoffs and how well are you going to play?
Yep.
I personally would like them in the 5th seed just to keep the momentum going because they go in beating the Giants, then beating the Cardinals, and then beating the Giants again. You can get the 5th seed. We get the 5th seed, we're playing either Tampa. We're probably playing Tampa, building up that momentum until we get to that team that we need to beat. Because right now, just losing is not helping. That's the thing.
Correct.
Losing isn't helping. So, like, when you're losing games, you're getting even more pissed off. But if you're winning the games, you kind of are brushing things to the side. But we need to win these games. Win, but fix the issues. When you're winning and fixing the issues, you're going to perfect your craft of what you're doing.
The Eagles been sweeping their problems under the rug all season, and the rug got lifted on us in the 49ers game. That's why they have to figure it out.
And think about it. What the 49ers probably called out on us as the team, that's probably something that's going to take 3 weeks to fix. Like, think about it. Like, take out Matt Patricia. Like, put in Matt Patricia. Take out Sean Desai. Like, it had to be the 49ers what they're talking about now. Yeah, it had to be a like 49ers beatdown for us to get that.
Patricia said it today. He's like, I'm already implementing what I need to. And that tells me right there, I mean, we'll get into this later because we got to finish this other segment first. There's something's going to be different this week, and somebody's going for blood. But we look back at the Seahawks game. we kind of gave our breakdown of it, so it'll kind of be just you two on this one. I'll leave it with as they found their heart in a sense, but then the offense needed to find theirs, and they just didn't find it yet. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that does.
Yeah.
But Jay, what was your take on the Seahawks game?
You know, like I said, that game is the one. Like, I'm super optimistic. Usually, a team has to really go through slides to make me feel like I'm not the Eagles fan. After 49ers, people jumping ship. It took these 3 games to really make me sit down and say, you know, you should have won, you could have won. The Jets game, you handed it away. The Seahawks game, you handed it away. The Cowboys game, you basically handed it away with the 3 fumbles. You know, you can't hand the opponents these wins and these dubs, as I like to call them, because they're just going to run with. Good teams are going to take advantage of every turn, every mistake you make. The good teams are going to capitalize.
Yeah. This Seahawks game, it made me open up my eyes that Bradberry shouldn't have gotten paid what he got paid.
Yeah, mistake.
And not saying Bradberry is bad, but Bradberry is getting up there in age. If Bradberry is playing Hopkins, all right, he's good. If he's playing like Julio Jones, if he's up against him, he can catch up with him. But these young receivers, he cannot. Like his smarts and his intelligence on the field is still there, but just the athleticism to be able to catch up and keep up with them, he can't do it anymore. So I think that's a come to Jesus moment with him and say, hey, like, what do we really need to do? Are we going to sit down this cornerback that we paid this much amount of money to and start a rookie so we can win the game and be dominant? Or are we just going to keep him on the field? I think that's the biggest thing right now. I think that's the biggest issue, and I think getting Maddox back is going to help. But with the Seahawks game, I think it was situational. Coaching situations screwed us up. The false start screwed us up. So, like I said, we're beating ourselves.
I hate this clip. I hate this clip. Seeing him.
Metcalf came alive.
You couldn't wait to show that until we got to the segment about Bradberry.
I couldn't. No. As I hear about it,
we'll leave it up and then we'll bring it back.
I feel like the Eagles always have a corner that just gets picked on. He's doing the carry Fletcher category.
Let's be real. We haven't had a good corner since
Asante,
Sheldon Brown and Lito Shepherd.
And I say Asante Samuel, and even though he was the last probably, and Lito, Lito and Brown was definitely the best duo we had. You know, up until Bradberry and Slay last year, but they fell off a cliff. Slay is not as bad as Bradberry, but Bradberry can't keep up.
I'm wondering if Slay's really was the knee though, just because he wasn't moving the way he should.
I think it is the knee because it's kind of like he decided to get the surgery after the gauntlet. It's like he's like, let me stay in, try to give my team as much as. Because had he missed it, we probably would have lost those games anyways. We were going to lose regardless. But I like the young corners, man. These Ringo and Ricks, if you give them more, their makeup speed, if they get beat, their speed helps them make up the play. That's what Bradberry doesn't have. Bradberry gets beat, but he doesn't have the speed to catch up and close the gap. You know, at least they have the speed to catch up. He does not have it.
Well, Bradberry made the comment that he was trying to play the sticks is why he made the mistake. So I don't know if y'all got a clip of it, but if you watch, Bradberry was playing the sticks. And once he saw that, I forgot what the dude's name is, that he was going in for the touchdown, Bradberry was unaware and he was trying to keep up with him. Eli Ricks noticed that was going on too. And Eli Ricks had the speed to still keep up with him. Mm-hmm. So that's where I'm saying it's an athleticism thing. It's an age thing that's going on right now.
You can let me go back a little because you can see where he got kind of.
Look at Blake. I know, bro. He doesn't probably want Dennis on. Look at Blankenship trying to come all the way from the other side, literally.
Yeah,
he's getting closer.
That's what I'm saying.
I can help.
Because the call was for them to play the sticks. That's what it was.
But I have a trouble. I like Patricia, like how he called that game, but that was a bad call, and I'll tell you why. you're running. They were running two high safeties that whole drive, right? And leaving help in the back. On that particular play, they brought Brown down and they left Bradberry 1-on-1 with a young, flexible rookie receiver. Like, that was a bad. You're bracketing them all the whole drive. Why'd you stop bracketing them at the end? Like, I don't get it. Like,
I guess Patricia's learning. But think about it like this: Patricia's learning what Desai was dealing with when it came to plays, and Bradberry had to be that guy.
He probably had faith.
That's what he learned. He learned. He was like, all right, well, I'm not going to do that again. So
you learned. You're right.
So like next time, that's what I'm saying. It's everybody. They're all learning through these mistakes. When you figure 49ers game exposed to mistakes. Cowboys game, they tried to fix them.
Let's not admit that we didn't know we had problems. We had because we were getting.
No, we all knew we had problems. When I was at the Vikings game, I knew we had problems. At the Vikings game, I was like, dude, there has to be a reason why we
were at the Vikings game, and me and Sean Sean left early because he got a migraine because he drank too much.
It was bad.
But I watched the whole thing. Had Mark Lane with me, his first time in the link, and that game was more like we got bailed out by a lot of stupid mistakes by them.
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of, you know what I mean? But
same way we've been giving teams game. We've taken games from other teams too. It happens.
I don't want to hold too long of the old games because we kind of got to get moving a little bit. As far as the coaching change, Matt Patricia is the new defensive coordinator. I'm going to give my take. We'll kind of go right down the line. And we'll go Matt Patricia as the new defensive coordinator is probably the best thing for this defense. That's probably the best defensive coordinator we could get since the Super Bowl and since Jim Johnson. I would put Jim Johnson and then Matt Patricia out of all the defensive coordinators that we've had over the years since then. Because Matt's smart. Matt won 3 Super Bowls with Belichick. Like, he knows what to do. Like, he's not stupid.
Yeah, and I feel like him being demoted and coming back to the spot is going to help him. Sometimes you got to take a step back. Yeah, he's hungry.
Yeah.
So with that, I feel like he's going to give them guys like where the defense was giving up on the side. They're like, all right, dude, you're an idiot. We don't trust you. Like, we're going to. And then when Bayer went in there and was like, yeah, we're going to do our own scouting report because we don't trust you. Like, that right there is what that office needed. Matt Patricia said in his press conference today that he had just seen Slay. He had just gave him a hug. He was glad that they had got things squashed, and he can't wait for him to get back. Now, let's take into a fact. We have no Sean. We have on our injury list. We got no Sean Bradley for the year. He's gone. Zach McPherson's gone. Who was both of them were key special team people for us that were this year.
Slot corner.
So let's look at this now. We're about to get Maddox back, which that's as long as he can stay healthy and doesn't do anything stupid.
I hope.
And then you also have Bradley Roby. You got Eli Ricks, Keely Ringo, Slay, and then if Bradberry can get his head out of his ass, which I highly doubt. But all those elements and all that depth at corner, there's no excuse why the rookies have no reason not to learn anything from any of them. Yes, Bradberry may be old. He may be in a slump, and he's playing like crap all season. But he still has the knowledge of what he's done through his career to give to these kids to make them ready for the next level.
That's very true.
You look at the back-to-back two. You have Blankenship, and then you have Bayer. Now, again, I touched on this on Monday, and I said this to Sean. It's not that I hate Reed Blankenship. I hate the way he tackles because he doesn't protect himself.
Yeah, he's incorrect.
Kid to be successful. I want him to be with us. I want him to be an Eagle. But I can't support a player that doesn't want to protect himself and keeps trying to do Brian Dawkins, Ed Reed, Ray Lewis type hits when it's not that NFL no more. You can't do that no more. Unfortunately, and it sucks because that's the era of football we all love and woke up with. So we don't have that no more. Now, if this kid wraps up like he was doing in the Seahawks game, I have no issues with that kid starting. But the other thing that needs to be taken into serious consideration because our linebackers can't cover. Yes, Shaq Leonard, great pickup. I think he's doing well for only being here for 2 weeks. Did you not notice, and I said this on Monday, Sidney Brown is playing a linebacker, but he's also playing safety. Yeah, so he's covering the middle where they can't pick up. Now, everybody wants to say, oh, the whole game's on Sidney Brown. It's one effing drive. It's one freaking drive. But the kid had 6 tackles in the game and was dominating the whole time. And
he had a good pass defense too.
Because he missed 2 tackles, everybody wants to blame him. He's a rookie. He overcommitted. But yet you guys don't want to go and throw blame on Reed Blankenship when he gives up 6 touchdowns and blows 20-plus tackles because he dove at them and didn't wrap up. And people are getting an extra 15 yards because of it. That's the problem I have with the situation of the Reed Blankenship thing. If we're going to hold him accountable, then let's be fair. And, this kid's not really had no playtime all year. He's just now starting to see the field. But for the amount of playtime that he got against the Seahawks, not one of us on this podcast right now can sit here and say that kid ain't got potential, because I'm telling you right now, that is the future of the Philadelphia Eagles at safety.
He does have potential for sure, but there is also problems with him as well. That the same way that you feel, because I said the same thing about Reed. I said Reed does need to wrap up. I said all of the defense needs to wrap up. There is problems with Sidney Brown that I've noticed as well. Number one was him blowing that touchdown. That one was on him. Regardless of how you want to look at it, he got juked. Well, he got juked. That's on him. He did make that mistake. That's a mental error he needs to come back from. I think Sidney Brown does have a very high ceiling. The other thing with Sidney Brown that I think a lot of people have skipped over, but I've been seeing it a little bit more, is that kid's attitude, man. He gets so angry on that field, and you can't have that. That's going to be a detriment to the team. It will be 100%.
You don't want him to be Barnett.
I saw Byard try to calm him down too.
You don't want to be Barnett.
Correct. Yeah. We can't have him doing some crazy shit, getting called for it on a flag for some stupid stuff. I don't need that. And it is good in a certain sense. I do want him to have that killer edge mentality. I'm never going to say I don't want to see that. I do. But there's a time and a place, and he's doing it right next to the ref. And like you said, Byard trying to pull him back. Don't get me wrong, Byard also had a moment too. I forget which game it was where he was snapping.
That was the Cowboys game.
Yeah. So you gotta. They just, and that's stuff that can be corrected too. He's a rook. He's a rook, man.
They're getting frustrated. Yeah. They're getting frustrated. You're
losing.
You're getting frustrated.
I'm not trying to knock the whole defense. That's not. You know what I mean?
No. I understand.
I'm just saying that this kid has got so much potential. And Seth Joyner had said it in a tweet or during a thing earlier in the week. Somebody just needs to get with him and mellow him out, and he'll be perfectly fine.
Just slow him down.
The first thing I said, the one person that needs to talk to him and will fix all that, put him in a room with Brian Dawkins for a season. I swear to God, you'll have the best safety in the NFL.
Yeah, I was watching that with Seth Joyner too. He mentioned that Sidney Brown is one speed. Like, he's just a one-speed player. So when he's trying to tackle, you can either go 70 miles, 30 miles, or 100 miles per hour. He doesn't switch up his gears. He's going one speed the entire time, which is causing him to miss tackles.
And that's a rookie mistake, though. Yeah. But as far as now, what we'll do is, Jay, now what is your opinion on Patricia taking over the defensive coordinator spot?
I'm very happy. Very happy. Because anything better at this point, I mean, we were better off with anything, but the side 10 touchdowns in a row spanning over 2 games was embarrassing. Anything besides the side was better. I just think that they needed experienced coordinators. Now, Matt Patricia is extremely experienced. He has Super Bowl wins, everything, AFC championships under his belt, wins and losses. I just think they need to do the same thing on the offensive side. Bring in a guy who's super experienced and build some continuity. Jalen keeps switching OCs every single year.
But that's Nick Sirianni's offense, though.
Why do you want? But you know what? I think Sirianni's playing puppet. I think he's playing puppet. I think he's saying it's his offense. You don't want Brian Johnson taking the heat, bro. Brian Johnson is calling the plays. Even if Nick Sirianni's plays, it is Brian Johnson who's pushing the button. Look. People are upset about AJ's comments when he had the thing with Lord Brunson this weekend. I'm not upset at AJ. You know why I'm not upset at AJ? The Eagles needed 12 or 13 yards to get at least in Jake's range, correct?
Yeah.
Brian Johnson calls a shot, a goal ball to AJ. It's like, do you want to be a hero? We can continue this game, try to get a field. I'd rather lose on a missed field goal than a game-winning interception, and a spectacular interception.
Yeah.
It's terrible. It's terrible. It's terrible what's happening with this offense. It's a waste. I keep saying if we don't fix this now, we're going to waste the season. We're wasting it currently.
Yeah.
Sean, what's your take with Patricia?
Yeah. So this actually goes back to what Warren was saying. I forget your exact point, but I think if we basically, so it was you talking about the 49ers and how it kind of took some of these games to get us to hand the reins over. I kind of wish that we would have just handed the reins over way sooner. I think that like even us as fans saw that this was a problem. I think that the Eagles saw this as a problem, but I feel like they just didn't want to like do that too early. And I know Nick Sirianni apparently was saying during that one press conference where he talked about it, where he said, oh, I knew that, you know, like a week ago that we were going to make the switch, you know, or whatever he had said. It should have happened way sooner. I think as I like Nick Sirianni quite a bit. I do like him as a coach. I think he's like the perfect guy for Philly with just the way he carries himself. I think he should have been able to see that a little bit sooner, that we needed something to change with that defensive coordinator room. And then what Jay said, offensive coordinator wise, I think he needs to see that too. I do think personally that I'm completely on board with you, Jay, about this, that it feels like Sirianni is kind of playing the puppet a little bit and that he's taking some of that blame. Because I mean, he handed it over to Steineke. Steichen. There you go. I don't know why it's Steineke, but yeah, Steichen. He handed it over to Steichen, and it looked great. And just like Randy said, look at what he's doing with Gardner Minshew over with the Colts. They actually look like kind of a legit team now. So I do think it comes. Yeah, exactly. So I do think that it comes down to who is in that room right now, and I think that you need to make that change. Or I don't know. I had that one meme where it felt like the Eagles only had like these 6 plays and it was straight out of Madden. And it kind of feels like that's how it was on defense too. It felt like we were doing that same thing, but seeing them on defense, regardless of whose playbook it was or whatever, like it looked like a different defense. It looked like we were dropping back a little bit more. It was nice. Just like you said, we had Sidney Brown going over there and helping. When it was the one-on-ones, we had him dropping back, but it's weird. I think, anyway, back to the original point. I think Matt Patricia being there is going to be a huge help. I think that's going to help a ton come playoff time. And I'm hoping that we see it a little bit differently against the 49ers if we end up seeing them in the playoffs or whoever we see. But I would love to see the 49ers with Matt Patricia as the defensive coordinator, especially when he's now, at this point, have a couple weeks with the team. So we'll see. I think everybody has to give him a chance. I think 3 days with the defense wasn't enough, but it still looked a lot better than what we were seeing most of the season.
Way better. I agree.
Yeah.
Better. And that's why I have faith in them with that 2 minutes. I was like, they're not going to let Drew lock, but you know, like this we have personnel issues a little bit on the back end, the inexperience, but it's all right. They're going to be better with Patricia than Desai. No questions about that.
100%.
Warren, what's your take on Matt Patricia?
I think Matt Patricia was the plan all along, honestly. If you really think about it, Sean Desai, never been a defensive coordinator, comes in. Nick Sirianni hires him. I think Howie actually said, all right, yeah, you'll get him, but we're going to bring in this person too to kind of oversee it. And I feel like that's kind of what Howie does. If he's not too confident in a move that's made, he'll bring in another person in case that ball drops. He has somebody that he can kind of slide right in. Because Matt Patricia came, we all knew about Matt Patricia probably like a week, 2 weeks after we found out about Sean Desai in the offseason. So, like, just think about that. Like, it was kind of planned out to where, hey, if this guy really doesn't know what he's doing, we got a guy we can put in.
That do sound kind of legit because, you know, it was weird the capacity that they brought Patricia in, like a secret consultant. Like, he didn't have, you know, he had his little assistant. You know, it was, you never know if they had a fallback plan with him on the defense.
Yeah, and I think with Matt Patricia, I think right now, as we speak, he's not looking at film of the Giants. I think he's looking at film from the 49ers and the Cowboys game. Because if we're as a legit team as we believe that we can be, he's trying to figure out what errors did we make that we can correct to make this team capable of beating those two teams. I think Matt Patricia just studies film more. Like, it just seems like he studies film a lot better, and he's better at decision making. Him to make the decision to play the whole game with 3 safeties and move move Sidney Brown up with the linebacker.
It was a good idea.
It's a smart idea. Like, why Like Sean Desai wouldn't have thought about that.
Yeah.
But think about it. This whole time, Matt Patricia's like, bro, just move him down.
Yeah,
I personally think Sidney Brown could beef up a little bit, and he could be an amazing linebacker for us. Like,
I wouldn't put him at linebacker.
So,
but
like,
you know,
because
Dennis, he could be
where
that
they're going
hybrid
right
safety. You know, that's how Hassan Reddick started his career.
We tried that with Nate Gary, bro. We tried that with Nate Gary, and it failed.
Yeah, but Nate Gary was nowhere near Sidney, bro. Nate Gary never even flashed a little bit, bro. Nate Gary, what was Nate Gary doing? He was he made like 2 plays.
So yeah, but with Matt Patricia,
I remember.
I think it's a good move. I think it's a smart move. I think it was planned all along, just in case, as a contingency plan. But yeah, it's a good move, and I want to see what he can do. It was his first game. It was his first time calling plays in an NFL game in a very long time. So he's going to be rusty. So, yeah, that's where I'm at.
Did he call the plays in New England, or did Belichick call the defensive calls? Because Belichick's a defensive coach. I don't even know that, to be truthfully honest.
Belichick trusted him to call the defensive plays, yeah.
And Belichick what? What'd you say, Dennis?
So Patricia would call it, and then Belichick would confirm it.
Okay, got it. Because I know Belichick's a defensive guy.
Yeah.
So I know he had control on some control. But listen, man, anything is better than the side. I think anything.
One of them things that we're just gonna have to pay attention to and hope to God this team gets it together. So now we jump to offensive coordinator, everybody's best friend. I don't even want to say his name because I hate the guy so bad. But Jay, go ahead and talk about our lovely Brian Johnson.
Yeah, listen, it's a cool story. You know, Jalen Hurts since they was 4 years old, former college. It was a cool story, but listen, man, that does not get you wins in this league. He was on the cover of NCAA Football 10. Cool, everything is a cool story. It's all cool. But
bro, take that down.
We don't want that here, bro. We don't want that here. Like
that's our offensive coordinator, ladies and gentlemen.
He thinks that he's pushing the sticks.
That's the same look he makes when he's calling.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I was not defending him, but I wasn't on his until after the last 2-3 games. Bro, it's 19, 17, 13. Do you see how much points we're putting up? We're putting up what teams will put up in a quarter in a whole game. There's a problem. There's a problem, a big problem, and we need to figure out. At first, we're blaming execution. We're blaming coaching. Listen, coaches put you in positions. They're the ones who dial it up. They find mismatches. They find open holes. Everything else after that is on the quarterback.
Gio liked that picture, man. Gio liked that picture.
Oh, I know he did. I like that picture.
Sean, what's your opinion of Mr. Superstar here?
It's the NCAA.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm not huge on it. I think that's like the last big change that needs to happen. I don't even know, man. Like, in my opinion, I just think when I'm seeing somebody call like a bubble screen pass, like against the Chiefs, I counted it. Yeah, Merry Christmas. I think I said this right after the Chiefs game. If you go back and watch it, there was a drive where they called they called like a run on the first one, because we always call a run on first down for whatever reason. Then they proceeded to call 2 screen passes after that, then 2 more screen passes to start the next drive. So whatever it was, however it was broken down, there was 5 screen passes called basically back to back to back to back. And I was like, this is terrible. It's unreal. So he needs to be gone. I think that will happen, especially during the offseason. They're gonna see that he needs to bounce. I don't know who else you'd bring in at this point of the season.
Frank Reich. Anybody got his number? Because the thing about Frank Reich is Frank Reich works good with experienced quarterbacks. Jalen's experience.
Warren, what's your opinion? Warren, what's your opinion of Mr. Superstar?
I'm kind of on the opposite of Jay and Sean right now. I really think like this is Nick Sirianni giving him a certain offense to play with, and Brian Johnson doesn't have full, like, he's not given full like openness to just go out and just play what he wants to play. I think he's being held back. That's my personal opinion. I feel like he's being held back. For you to sit there under Shane Steichen, see how everything was ran, see how the plays were made, and you do the total opposite. I feel like the fact that Brian Johnson, it was his first time being an offensive coordinator in the NFL. Nick Sirianni gave him the promotion. It gives him the feeling that he almost owes Nick. And, hey, with this going on, I got to give you, like, these are the plays we got to run. I want you to call the plays, but not call the plays, but I'm going to be the one to set you up with, this is the offense I want you to run it within. I want you to call the plays under this offense. I don't think he has full reign to choose what he wants to choose. That's my personal opinion. Because I think Brian Johnson he will want to run the ball if he really wanted to. And for Nick Sirianni to say it's my offense, that kind of just solidifies everything. Like, it's his offense.
Oh, sorry, Warren, go ahead.
No. That just solidifies his offense. And I think it was our old defensive coordinator, now the head coach for the Cardinals. Yeah. He made a comment that Nick Sirianni thought that he would be looked at differently because he was giving the plays over. And he made that comment to him. And he said, who cares? And that's when he gave the plays to Shane Steichen. That's when we started winning games.
So, Logan, what is your opinion of Mr. Superstar?
So after Nick Sirianni's recent press conference, I completely agree with Warren. I feel like that Sirianni is just kind of holding back what Johnson could be. I still don't think that Johnson is what our future offensive coordinator should be, but I think that Sirianni needs to fix the playbook, and Johnson is not fully the problem, and Sirianni just needs to fix what he's been doing, because I think that, I completely agree with Warren that I think that he's just holding him back. So I think Johnson shouldn't be fully to blame, but he shouldn't have a job after this season.
Well, that'll take us into our next topic. What's Kai saying? He can say, you can say two things. He's being held back in the same breath, say he shouldn't be though. Kai's not wrong. But that's our superstar offensive coordinator. I hate that guy so much. But that picture just makes it that much more funny. So now we get to bring up Sean's favorite topic that he's been chomping at the bit for. Your favorite thing, buddy. Get ready to fire off. The James Bradberry discussion. Has he regressed, or is it just a bad season? Me personally, where I'm at, as a defensive-minded person, and where with him, I'm kind of like, I hope and pray he's just having a bad season. But now I'm also looking at it at all the games where he played really good, and now it's like, dude, are you just regressing, or are you just having a bad slump? So I'm stuck in the middle on him. I don't want to give up on him because we did just pay him a bunch of money. But it's kind of one of the things we kind of got to hit the panic button and be like, dude, are you know what I mean? So, Jay, where are you at with it?
You see what Kai just said last year? He was a top 3 quarterback. This year he isn't. That's regression. He's regret. A slump is part of regression, like he just said. He literally just said what I was about to say. It is. So this year he has regressed, but I don't think it's an alarming regress. A bad knee, the whole coaching thing, and whatever's going on in the locker room. Every quarterback every season is not gonna have elite numbers. They have up and down years. That not every single year you're gonna be an MVP. I think his decision making also too is a lot to play in. Jalen presses sometimes, and he can play hero ball, but I would say he regressed a little bit, not to the point where I'm alarmed, like, oh my God, he's in a Carson Wentz situation. So I'm not that alarmed yet, honestly.
Okay. Sean, I'm making you go last because I know you want to sound off on him. Warren, what do you think?
I think we gave money to cornerbacks that we could have gave money to linebackers, and we did not need Bradberry. I'm sorry. I don't think it was a good move, and we're reaping we're reaping that right now with all the plays that are going on. So I just think we're not going to bench him. We're not. I just think he is our Achilles heel on the defense.
Okay, Logan, what do you think?
So, I agree with Kai. The slump is still a regression, and Bradberry is regressing, but it's not something to be worried about fully yet. And I think potentially he could improve with Matt Patricia as our defensive coordinator, but as of right now, I think it might be time to say goodbye to Bradberry. But we do have these young corners. We got Eli Wicks. We got Keely Wingo. They'll have potential. So if Bradberry is regressing and it's time to go, we have our cornerbacks that can step up. So I don't think we need to panic over Bradberry regressing, but he is regressing. Enough of fun.
Okay,
I like the sound effects.
Yeah. Bradberry's been getting cooked
Hang
for
on to your butts.
a long time. If you look at him when he so his coverage stats the last 2 games, right? 15 targets, 13 catches, 9 first downs, 175 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's cooked.
So that's he's a highlight reel. He is literally a highlight reel.
Yeah, he's getting put on a poster. I'm telling you, that's what we call it in NBA. That's what I'm going to call it here. He's getting put on a poster all the time. Obviously, like, and I try to separate the feeling of what happened in the Super Bowl last season, right? Like, because I wish they didn't call that, but like that one already kind of burnt me on Bradberry a little bit, where I was like, okay, he's got. In my mind, I made this point on another podcast yesterday. In my mind, right, after a call like that, you should come back ready to kill, man. Like, you should come back ready to be one of the best corners in the league. That Super Bowl was kind of on him for that call. Not fully on him, but when it comes down to the situation that you're in, you got to make the plays, right? He got cooked, right? And it happened against the Cowboys. It happened, obviously, this week. It's just been terrible. I think he definitely has regressed. I think you don't cut him. And the only reason I'm saying that you don't cut him, right, is because of the cap. The cap is already there, right? I think he does need to go on the bench. I think you do have to put a rookie in there. I think maybe you wait until Slay returns in order to put him on the bench, because I think still having some type of vet out there is good. But I think once Slay returns, he needs to take the bench. I think that's what needs to happen. Cheating on you, homie. No, I got asked to be on.
That was funny.
Was on.
That was funny. Yo, I want to say one more thing. Sorry, guys, keep cutting you guys off. But Kai made a point. This team doesn't care about 2 positions, and it's going to kill them forever. The running back and linebacker, they don't value those positions. Any Eagle fans know that. But let me tell you something. Who is the linebacker on the defense? He's the quarterback of the defense. Who is the running back on the offense? He's the one who sets the tone for the offense. And those are 2 positions the Eagles just could give 2 F's about. They just don't care. Like, it's just when are you going to invest in a linebacker? When are you going to draft a linebacker high? The last linebacker that we had was Jordan Hicks. And they didn't want to sign him because his injury history, granted. But what did Jordan Hicks go on to be? A Pro Bowl safety, all-pro guy. You understand what I'm trying to say? The Eagles don't value the linebacker position, don't value the running back position, which is crazy. We undervalued Kaiser White. We undervalued what's his name? TJ Edwards. We undervalued these guys. These guys, they're not superstars, but for the Eagles, they fit. They were perfect pieces for the Eagles.
But we haven't seen a full 6 games of Nakobe Dean either.
We haven't, but Nakobe Dean
that's the issue as well.
Yeah,
Nakobe Dean was studying the whole offseason, preparing for his role before he got injured.
I that's the one player that I want him to put it together, because that's the only young linebacker. He's a little undersized, but I think his football IQ is very good from the plays that you've seen him making on the field.
Yeah. Well, and what you were saying there is kind of where I was going to finish my point with Bradberry. I think we made a big mistake. And it wasn't fully on us. Obviously we weren't there for all these contracts and everything. Like, we're not there. We can only read what was put out. I still follow CJ Gardner-Johnson on Twitch and everything, and I chat with him, man. He doesn't have like an insane amount of viewers, right? So I go on there and I chat with him. Like sometimes I only have 14 people in there playing GTA. Nice. I hop in and I'll just shoot the shit with him and be like, dude, we loved you over here. That was one of my favorite players, dude, safety. And I think if you lock him in and Bradberry's gone, I'm happy because from what I saw, we weren't even supposed to keep Bradberry. Slay almost wasn't going to stay because we were going to get CJ Gardner-Johnson. So I think CJ Gardner-Johnson being gone really, like, I just wish we would have taken that money that went to Bradberry and put that CJ Gardner-Johnson, which is what I think they saw, but they did nothing about it during the offseason. Who else did they pick up? You know, of course, the rookie's fine, but I'm saying, who did you go to replace these guys rather than just say, okay, we'll just re-sign them because we went to the Super Bowl with them and they looked okay. But, yeah, I think, like you said.
Didn't CJ want more money, though? He wanted more money than what they were getting him.
Apparently so from what I saw from in the Twitch chat when I was talking with him, apparently they were like kind of close. He doesn't ever get into specifics, but I know that he actually does love Philly. Like he'll be like, maybe like I've said to him, I'm like, dude, I would love to see you come back to Philly. He's like, maybe another time. It wasn't my choice. He said something like that. It was like, it wasn't my choice.
He's on a 1-year deal. He's on a 1-year deal.
Yeah. So from exactly what you said. So that's where I was going to flip to. I think if you're able to get Bradberry out of there during the offseason, whether it's a trade, something, and get CJ Gardner-Johnson back in, and maybe one of these rooks step up over the playoffs, over these last 3 games, something, I think he can bounce, and I'll bring CJ Gardner-Johnson back, or what is it, CD Gardner-Johnson now? He changed his name. Back, and I'd be happy. Safety needs to be valued, and I would love to have him back, and just Bradberry's cooked, man. I wish we didn't pay him what we did, because now it's kind of like what everybody else is saying. We paid him this money. We're not going to just bench him. We're not going to cut him.
Not going to bench him, man. He's got to take his run.
This leads us to like our next question. Well, the last thing of the Bradberry conversation. Yep. This is kind of like a poll question. You can put it in the comments too for everybody. James Bradberry, stay or gone.
You got to put the poll up, Dennis. Just so
after the season, or
you got it. You got to put it up.
You talking about after the season or this season?
Just put it in. We'll put it in the comments. Put in the comments your opinion. My opinion: if he fixes it over the next 3 games and into the playoffs and plays better and shows that he can be the Bradberry we need him to be, I say stay.
You're saying during the offseason, right? I heard Jay ask that. That's a good point.
I'm saying is going in to like if he fixes everything that he's doing and starts playing better through the last 3 games in the playoffs and he shows that he can be the Bradberry that we signed him for, then I say keep him. But if not, dump him.
I doubt it though, Dennis. He's been every week. It seems like he's going backwards. Every single week he's getting. Didn't you hear what Sean just said? The last 15 targets, 13 out of 15.
I understand that, but I'm trying to give the man an opportunity, bro. I don't want to just chuck him and say screw you.
But he was given an opportunity when the Giants dropped him.
Yeah.
Listen.
Good point.
Ringo, like I said, gave up less yards than him in that game. Obviously wasn't targeted. Ricks, both of them, you got to play these young guys. And like you said, maybe you don't bench him. Maybe you make him a second string. Maybe you bring him in throughout the game on certain packages. But you got to do something that, to make a player aware, give him, because what he's been playing poorly, extremely poorly, not very little poorly, very poorly.
Very poorly.
Very poorly.
Bradberry does not need to be responsible for any elite wide receivers. I think he needs
the biggest problem that we have to look at with this, though. If we dump him, what we have to look at, and Sean said it Monday, look at how much of a cap hit we hit if we just dump him. He has to be offloaded in a trade. If he doesn't get offloaded in a trade, then we're screwed. Our salary is going to take a hit.
That's a good reason why we got Harry Roseman.
That's true. Well, that's a good point. We got the Wizard.
You might get a 5th, 6th round pick for him, maybe.
Let him. The Wizard will figure it out. He'll bring home.
But I feel like right now, like let's say Bradberry does good this whole 3-game stretch.
Yeah,
we go into the postseason, we win a game. What's going to happen is the game that we need. That's my thing.
He's going to do
the game that we need. Yeah, he'll do something silly to where he'll get hated again. I think for his own benefit, he should just leave.
But I just think players in Philly, once the fans get on them, they get in their head. It's very hard for them to get out of that. The only one I really seen who do it is Brandon Graham, who really was in the hole with the fans.
Embraced it.
And then, it never really, he kept pushing for it. I never seen really much players get chewed by the media in Philly and then come back and be stronger. Usually they just walk away. They'd be like, I'm not going to deal with this BS. Go to another place, smaller city, same paycheck. What you going to do?
Yeah, but Bradberry is a different story. Like, he doesn't have that many years left. I feel like as a cornerback, when your time's up. Like, Richard Sherman said he knew when his time was up when Devontae Smith,
iced
cooked him.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I think it needs to come to reality that it's time for him to either sit down, maybe coach. Coaching's good. Like, he's like,
we need a good
offensive coordinator. There you go.
He can be back there with the cornerback. But that's another thing, though, too. When we lost our offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator last year, they took those assistant coaches with them to Indianapolis and to Arizona. They took them. So all these coaches that we have right now are fresh coaches that have never been in this position before. So you actually have cornerbacks that know the position and know the role better than the actual coaches. That's another issue.
I like the
cornerback coach that they wanted to be that they wanted to stay the defensive either defensive coordinator or they wanted him to stay the DB coach. They left off with him, and now he's coaching the Ravens cornerbacks, and look at them now. So
Ravens defense looks elite. I think that's one of
the
the
best.
So
that's what defenses. I'm saying. I think a lot of bad decisions were made in the offseason, and I hate to say it, to pay Jalen, even though it's not in that, like it's not part of the player's cap, but money had to be moved around somewhere. And I feel like that's where we took the hit, and we're experiencing that right now. Like, we got to be honest, like a lot of teams go through this. A lot of fan bases go through this. We're taking that hit, and we got to be realistic enough to understand money is the name of this whole game.
Yeah.
It's all about money. So,
Jae, Warren, stay or gone?
Gone.
Logan?
Honestly, I don't have an opinion on it yet. I think it's too soon. I think as of right now, I think gone, but I think it's too soon to have a full opinion.
Okay.
Good point, Will, because we want to give him the rest of the year to see how he fares out. He may make a play that may freaking save us.
Hold on. Shawn?
So this kind of goes directly with what Warren said, man. Like, I think we have to say gone sooner rather than later. My problem is like with trying to give him a chance, like Dennis said, right? Like, we give him that chance. Let's say somehow, and it's not that far-fetched, but let's just say we somehow make it back to the Super Bowl, right? For example. If he makes another mistake like that, dude, they're coming for him with pitchforks. Like they're not coming to Novacare with signs. They're going there with pitchforks and they're waiting for him, right? So, he has shown me time after time after time again, and that was only from the last two games that I showed. Go back and look at the game that we won against the Cowboys. He looked awful. Go look at the game against the Jets. I mean, that's not fully on him. We as the team looked terrible there, but he looked awful. Go look at his stats for the season. It's bad, dude. It almost feels like when quarterbacks see him defending somebody, they're like, "Yep," and they just put it right there, and they're like, "Yeah, he's cooked." So
Deebo Samuel was talking about him the whole he's been talking.
I'm not gonna lie, that
last
clip is
season.
even going more viral because it's like he is playing trash now. It's like
even Juju Smith. Remember Juju Smith even called him out.
Yes, and that's the thing, and like we want to have our boys back, right? So like we just went to the Super Bowl. We're like, dude, he's not trash. He looked all right. And the point that they made is that that defensive line makes it so they have an easy job back there, which is exactly what Deebo said, right? So he's cooked, dude. Deebo's opinion on that when he said it last season, like you guys said, it's been looking more and more real, and I just don't see him bouncing back from it. Maybe he will. Like I said, I don't ever want to put anything out of reach of what these players can do. They're athletes, dude. He'll cook me. I know that much. But he's been cooked.
Hey, Dennis, you said you would keep Bradberry, right?
I said keep him if he fixes everything over the next 3 games and into the playoffs, and if we win decently.
Do you think he's a liability?
You know we lost the Seahawks game, and then it's because of him. So answer this question wisely. We lost the whole game because of him. He couldn't get a fucking stop.
Yes, he is a liability, but he also proves that he can be clutch when he needs to be. It could just be a bad game. I mean, Jalen threw 2 interceptions. I mean,
but we all know Jalen.
I'm not sold on. I'm not sold on dumping him yet. That's just where I'm at. I'm not sold on dumping him yet.
Let me share this real
again because, and this is why we have so much money invested in him. It's not going to be easy to trade him.
Nobody's gonna pick that deal up.
I'm just saying. I'm not trying to be an I'm not trying to be an
no,
ass.
Fair.
No.
How much cap do we have on him?
That I don't know off the top, but like looking at this, dude, like it's pretty. Let me go back to the other one because it actually showed a little bit better. But just look at these stats, dude. Look at the average yards against him too, man. It's pretty bad. Like in his career average is 7.9. Okay, so 5, fine, whatever. Last 5 games though, terrible, awful. He wasn't.
I'm curious what he was doing against the Giants that made them drop him. I'm curious if those match the same numbers.
When he left the Giants, he was still very good. He was.
More people were shocked when he left the Giants.
Yeah, more people were shocked. Like, how do you walk out? How'd you let
But
that
the Giants probably saw something that they said, hey, we can get somebody else.
Let's see. Someone used with the Giants. Game played 15.
Look at him when he was with Carolina, too.
Yeah. Let's see. 2 interceptions, too. He had 1 this season. Who do you have that one on?
That one season? Is that land. He turned around, and I forgot what, and the ball just hit him right.
It was right there. It was against the Bills, right?
It was the Bills.
That was the Bills. That was the Bills.
That was the Bills. That was. I don't want to call it lucky, but he turned around and he actually was underneath the route, and the ball just landed right on his hip.
He had 3 interceptions last season, 1 this season. I mean, he could still cook, obviously. And the other thing is, too, I mean, he is going to play the Giants. So I think his confidence is probably low because of people like myself who just want to see him gone at this point. But he does play good against the Giants. He played great against the Giants. I think first game I know he was cooking because he was looking forward to that game when he was doing interviews. Yeah. Second game we beat them. I don't know how much he did actually. I'd have to pull the stats up. But even in the playoffs, we always beat them. Oh, he had cool.
Where'd it go?
Yeah.
Like I said, the issue that I have with getting rid of him falls down to the fact of all the money that's wrapped up in him, and because it's going to be hard to offload that.
I think so.
Kind of like you have to sit and deal with it, and you really don't want to put all that money just to sit on the bench.
That's true. Very true.
And that's just my final take on it. Going to the next segment. Sean, do we have that queued up by chance? Current contract for what Liz has. 3 years, 38 mil. Oh my God.
Bonus 7.9 mil. Average salary 12.
Ain't nobody gonna pick that up with him playing the way he is.
No.
I just don't see why we gave him that insane of a contract.
The reconstructed on its way.
So we almost need him to play good so we can trade him.
No, this deal's gonna get reconstructed. Howie is good at talking players down. Like, listen, I signed you for this. You gave me this. This is what you're gonna get. That's what it's gonna be. He's gonna get a reconstructed contract for sure.
He's gonna have to.
He's gonna have no choices. He's playing.
Maddox has got to take a reconstruction contract too, because his stuff
because of his injury history. Yeah, that's when players bargain with the GMs because it's like, listen, you've given us this, we're giving you this. Meet me in the middle.
So we go into our next segment. This is what cues this nice video up that Sean is getting ready to put up for us. It is the time of year that I love. It is the jerseys that we love to see. Because I told everybody that they weren't going. Sean, hit the video, please. Turn it on.
Hold on.
Dark mode activated.
I don't feel like running to the closet, but I'm about to get my Foles jersey.
Dark mode activated.
My favorite jersey.
I told everybody. Black jerseys would come back this year. The only thing they won't have is the black helmet.
Black helmets. They got the green helmet because you were right. I looked it up. So the alt, you only allowed 2 helmets, not 3. So we went with the Kelly green and the green, obviously. But I think the black with the green is going to throw it in a little. It's going to look pretty fire tomorrow. Because that's
I think it's kind of dope. They're doing it for Christmas, too.
The original look is green helmets and black jerseys. They just came out
I missed the green pants with the black jersey combo.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to seeing that.
So then they had the green jerseys with black pants at one time.
Yeah.
Now
a lot of people don't know Jalen has a lot to do with the black pants. He went to Lurie. I just found out earlier. He went to Lurie and like, can we change this? Can we switch it up? So don't be surprised if they come up with some more swag.
I wouldn't be, for real.
As long as them blue and yellow ones never come back, I'm okay.
Hey, the blue and yellow ones are fire, by the way. I like them. I don't know. That's a different era. So,
that was the old Steagles. Yeah.
Logan, how excited are you to see the blackout jerseys this season?
Black jerseys are one of our best looking jerseys. Unfortunately, we don't get the black helmets because we used that for Kelly Green, but it's very exciting because, like I just said, one of our best looking jerseys and will be against the Giants.
Warren, what is your take? Sean, can you find the clips that the Eagles had put up with the blackout jerseys from last year? Maybe we can show that tonight too. Warren, what's your take on blackout?
The blackout jerseys are actually my favorite jerseys. The Kelly Greens are cool. I wish the Kelly Greens were the white Kelly Green. I thought that would have been dope. But yeah, the all black jerseys. The all black jerseys is my thing, though. I actually don't have a black jersey, so when I go to the game on Monday, that's going to be one of my little Christmas gifts.
I know.
So here's the ultimate question before we even dig into this. Are you going to tailgate with Sean, or are you going to ignore the Countrywide Eagles tailgate mafia?
No, I need Sean's number and we can link up.
I got you. Yeah, I'll be down there getting a little
Christmas
not a solid answer going, if you know what I mean. There,
getting a little lit.
It's not a solid answer if you're going to hang out with the Countrywide Eagles tailgate.
I plan on going to the final game.
I'm going to be a part of the Countrywide Eagle tailgate group. That's what's going to be happening. I'll be there. I'll be there at 12 o'clock. Ready?
It's a 4:30.
Yeah, I'll be there at 12.
You ain't getting in Lot D at fucking 12:30 at 12 o'clock. You better be
getting there on foot.
That's what I said, Sean. We got to link up. We got to link up so we can chat.
Sean, you guys going to the final game too? The final home game?
No, the Cardinals is the final home game.
I'm sorry. You guys going to the Giants game at MetLife?
I'll message you.
Hit me up.
The game I'm going to go to the MetLife.
Sean, cue the clip, sir. Cue the clip.
I got you. And real quick before I do, everybody's gonna hate me for this, and I'll take it. Should have wore Kelly Green. Anyway, on with it.
That'd be a big blow. 2 running backs out. Off the fake to Boston Scott.
Lane Johnson.
Touchdown.
That was like the best touchdown last year, dude.
Is he gonna get up there, Kenny? Oh,
he ain't getting up there.
Is that a linked leap? I don't know.
The knees ain't got it anymore.
The sight of Jalen Regressed reminded me of Quez.
That was the Tampa. That's back when we played Tampa in the postseason.
Wow. So that
was rough.
I didn't even rip Quez one in this podcast.
The biggest topic to go against the Giants that I love to talk about. The man, the myth, the legend that he is, the giant killer, Boston Scott. Do you guys think we get a massive game from Boston Scott? Or do you think they say screw you?
He's definitely, it's comical now how much snaps he gets against the Giants compared to other teams. It's comical because it's like the Eagles are waiting for this. So I think he's going to get hired. I think he scores at least one or gets, a fair amount of yards.
Warren, what's your opinion?
I don't think we're going to get it. We didn't get it in the postseason. And I think with the situation that the Eagles are in right now, like that's probably not on their mind.
The Giants killed.
As much as it sucks, yeah, it sucks. Sean, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm in the same thought process as Warren. Sadly, trust me, I would love to see him come out there and continue on the legend of the Giant Killer. Maybe they will. Maybe I'll be shocked, but I feel like
maybe at the end if we beat them, bad.
Yeah.
Let Boston Scott do the tush push.
I would love for Boston Scott to be out there. I would love to see him continue on the legacy, but I don't think it's happening. I think they have Swift and Gainwell. If they took Gainwell and swapped him out for Scott for that game, I'd be cool with it. Just keep on the legend, but I highly doubt they're going to do that. Now they're at the point where they're like, we got to win these games, so they're going to rock with the people they've been rocking with. But I'm hopeful.
Logan, what is your opinion of Boston Scott?
So Boston Scott has 414 total yards against the Giants. He's averaged 100 yards a game against them. So, he's the Giants killer for a reason. He has 200 total receiving yards against them, which is insane for a running back that's not even running back number one against just a single team. I think that, honestly, they probably won't use him that much. They have Gainwell and Swift, unfortunately. Not unfortunately to have them, but unfortunately that it probably isn't going to get much playing time. But he's the Giants' kill, so he'll go off when he is in.
Okay, so now we jump into this. We'll kind of try to move quick through this because we're getting a little bit late into our podcast here. Expectations from the Giants game. My expectations are simple. Clean up the turnovers, have a clean game, run the ball, and make sure that they don't get going, because if they get going, we're in trouble. It's that simple. But I'm telling you right now, I think with the, Patricia having another week to be with the team and do what he's got to do with the defense, look for a standout game from Sidney Brown. Look out for a standout game from Nolan Smith. And look for them boys to eat on defense because they're pissed. Warren, where are you at with it?
I'm looking at a solid victory, probably the biggest win that we've had all season. Dammy DeVito, he's getting whacked.
Yeah, he fired his agents is hilarious. But continue. That's whole story. We're about to put the whole Italian mob to rest right now. Let me tell you something. I really think they're gonna come up guns blazing. I think they're gonna have their best defensive game this game, and not only because it's the Giants, it's because it's gonna be the first full week of preparation with Patricia.
Oh no, hold on.
Oh my God, fucking Mahomes! I can't stand when he does that shit. This fucking thing. I can't stand it, dude. I picked up on it early. My job, my company is based out of Missouri, so they're in Kansas City. And like whenever I get on with them and they start shit talking me after a loss, I start doing this to them. And I'll start dying. I can't fucking stand it. I hate that he does that. He is like the worst voice. I know my voice isn't much better, but that dude sounds like Kermit, and he does this.
Yeah. The power he's been doing lately is crazy.
Because you'll be at the game, Sean. What's your expectations for the game?
Dude, and I'm probably going to get a lot of shit for this, but I expect a blowout and nothing less than a blowout on Christmas. If I don't see a blowout, I'll be genuinely shocked. I just want to win, to be honest. It'll be an amazing Christmas gift straight from Santa himself. Sorry for the snowballs, but like, dude, I'm telling you, like, blowout. That's all I'm seeing right now. I literally said during the Seahawks game, I called it 24-20. I was like, that's going to be the game. This game needs to be a blowout. Defense needs to show up. Offense needs to show up. They need to go out there and ball. So obviously any given Sunday, anything can happen. Maybe the blowout will come the other way. I don't want to see it. I want us to blow them out, and I think it needs to happen. That's just my expectations for the game.
Jay, what's your expectations versus the Giants?
My expectations, like I said earlier, is I just want dominance from the defense with a full week to prepare from Patricia. That's all I'm looking for. The offense, like, so it's sad to say, but like I don't know how to feel about them. Like I'm trying to pinpoint the problem. I was circling execution. I was circling coaching. Whatever it is, they got to figure it out. On defense, they seem to be coming together with this new change. Because I like the 3 safety look. The Blankenship was at the same time on the field with Brown. Like I like the looks that we were giving these opposing teams.
Before I go to Logan, we're gonna be doing a last call on the Brandon Graham signed photo in the last probably about in the next 3 or 4 minutes. We'll do the final call. If anybody wants to put a bid in, please put it in the comments. Current bid right now is by Miss Ellen with $175. Please put in the comments if you're interested in bidding on this wonderful item, and we can have it sent out to you. Depending on the location, you may have to pay for shipping, but we will handle that as it comes, and we appreciate anybody that has been going back and forth, which has only been Shane and her. Logan, what's your expectations?
Honestly, we could see something similar to what we saw in the playoffs, 38-7 type thing, but I don't think we will see something that big. I think that Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith, Keely Wingo, Sidney Brown, I think they're going to step up on defense and hold out on Tommy DeVito. Tommy DeVito has been on like an insane run for a undrafted free agent. I think probably it's starting to die out. He lost to the Saints pretty badly. I don't think we lose. I expect that the Eagles will come out on fire and they will dominate through hopefully more than just the first quarter.
Okay. Well, Shawnee, do you have the details from the prediction contest we're going to run through the end of the season?
I do not.
Okay, so here's what we got. Warren, Jay, you guys are more than welcome to be a part of this, and if you win, then we'll get you a hat, whatever. So we're going to do a game of predictions here. Pretty much the way it's going to go. We have 3 games remaining on the regular season. Basically, everybody's going to put in their score of what they think each week the game's going to be. If you are within 3 points of the Eagles' score of what they have on the board, you get 7 points. If it's 4 points or higher away from the score, so say you said 21 and they hit 30, you'd only get 3 points. We'll add these all up at the end of the 3 weeks, and then whoever wins that will get a hat of their choice from the pro shop, nothing over $40. There's only 2 rules, technically. You have to be followed and subbed. Oh, God. Trying to shake a cold. Facebook and YouTube. And your scores have to be in by 4 p.m. on Sunday.
Sunday. What it'll be, just to explain that, it'll be 24 hours before the next game happens. So, for example, this Sunday it needs to be in by 4 p.m. because it'll be on Monday at 4 or 4:30. So we'll be checking that. Obviously, the other thing is because I'm going to be trying. We went over the rules and all how this stuff is going to work. We'll be making sure, obviously, if it's like a changed comment, like if it's edited, that's going to be a DQ for that week. I won't do the rest of them. And then what was the other one? I think the other one was just, by being in on time. So as long as it's in by 24 hours before the game, and then number 2, as long as it's not edited or anything like that, then obviously I'll make sure it counts.
So that's the thing that we're going to do for you guys, is like a late Christmas gift from us. Game predictions for the Giants. Here we go with the scores. Sean's favorite segment. Let's get ready to get down to it. There's the beat for football on Fox for the NFL teams, and here we go. My score for the Giants and Eagles game: Philadelphia 51, New York 14.
Okay.
For some god reason, I feel like they're going to wake up.
Okay.
Sean, write me down.
Yep.
Warren, what is your score prediction?
I'm going 32 Eagles, 17 Giants.
Jay?
31-10 Philadelphia.
Logan?
I'm going to go 28-3.
Super Bowl score. Nice.
Okay. Shawnee Mac.
Getting Liz's real quick. Give me 1 sec. She had 37-14 birds for a W. All right. Yeah. Mine
came back with 34-17.
Who was it?
Terrence.
Oh, cool. Oh, I see. Yep. Put his in, and then we will announce mine. 34. Damn you, Terrence. You kind of like took mine a little bit. Okay.
I like how 34-17 sounds. That sounds good.
Mine's going to be 35-10. I think the Eagles blow them out. I think 35-10 is the right number. Locking that in.
Okay. Well, there's your predictions, ladies and gentlemen. We will be checking the comments on Facebook and YouTube throughout the weekend until game time. Sean, what time are you thinking about? I know you wanted to kind of go over this before we get out of here, discussing the tailgate, because you're running it this time because I can't get up there because I'm too broke.
Yeah, this one I won't be super – or I'll try to be as honest as possible. It won't be like as super organized as the last ones have been. I just know that's how it's going to be right off the jump. It's Christmas Day. People are going to be running late, including myself, I'm sure, because everybody's going to wake up, do family stuff, whatever. So for me, I believe the time that I'm trying to leave by is like 10, 11 o'clock because it's like a 2-hour drive for me. So I might be there a little late. That's just because we're going to wake up, do family stuff, check in with my family, all that fun stuff. But I'll be pulling up. I'm probably going to stop and get like a big Wawa hoagie tray because, you know, it's Philly. It's Wawa, baby. Who could say no to that? I will be making, well, I should be making some of my family's coquito, which is basically like a Spanish eggnog. It's delicious. It's good stuff. So I got the family recipe for this one. So I'll be having that there. So yeah. So if anybody is coming, anybody wants to bring anything, please feel free to let me know. Like I said, it's not going to be like super, super formal or anything. I'm going to be in lot D, same spot that we go to. I think it's D1, right, Dennis? So I'm still going to be over there. It'll be me and my father-in-law. So if anybody's coming, I'll put a post up, seeing who's all coming, what they want to bring. Even if you bring nothing, that's totally fine. Same thing we said every time. No cover charge, no none of that. Just going there to have fun. So yeah, that's what we will be doing. And I look forward to seeing you guys Christmas Day.
And with that said, Miss Ellen, you did win the picture. I'll be in touch with you after the stream is over, and we will get a payment set up, and then I'll get in touch with Shawn, and Shawn will get that sent out for you.
If that payment gets, and this isn't to rush anybody, if that payment gets done by either tonight or like early-ish tomorrow, I can have that sent out tomorrow because I only have a half day at work and I work remote, so I can just fly over there. So just to help give like a timeline.
So, and the next thing I want to finish off with, Jae, Warren, where can everybody find you? Anything you want to say to us, any questions for us, you know, floor is your guys's. We're going to clear the screen and give it to you, and then we'll come back on as soon as you guys are finished and go from there.
Yeah, most definitely. So you can check us out on Twitter, Eagles Collective, Instagram, Eagles Collective, and we also got the Facebook group, Eagles Collective, and we also got the YouTube channel, Eagles Collective. It's just everybody come together, all Eagles fans. Doesn't matter where you are, who you are. We're all one. We all want the same goal. So that's where you can find us. Jae, you got to add anything to it?
Yeah, no, you hit it on the money. Basically, we're just a collective group of fans, us ourselves, just trying to make a whole group of like fan community, basically, of Eagles fans. We have the same goal. We want to see we all bleed green. We want to see us win. You know, so basically, we support Dennis a lot. Dennis has been one of our early supporters from the beginning. Always, you know, Dennis was one of the first people who really got us going, like giving us that battery on our back, like you guys are doing good. So it was a pleasure to be on here, and we definitely want this not the last time.
Most definitely.
And I like what you're doing too with Logan and everything. And I like Shawn as your cause. That's why before I started everything, I gave him his flowers for the rant at post game. But I like everything that you guys are doing, you know. So just keep it up to you guys also. And I'm gonna make it.
We need to do this more too. More to come.
Definitely.
We'd love to have you guys on again. Logan, is there anything that you want to touch on, say to them, say to everybody before the holidays on Christmas?
Well, Merry Christmas, everyone. And it's been great doing this podcast. And it was great having you two here today. And yeah, happy holidays. Merry Christmas.
Same to you, Logan. Happy holidays, bro. To you and your mom too. I know your mom's very active with you and everything you're doing. So salute to her. You look just like her too. You're her twin.
You should see how much taller he is than her.
I look like my mom too. So take it as a compliment.
So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Dennis. I'm the founder of the Countrywide Eagles Tailgate Mafia. To my right, one of the hosts from the Eagles Collective, because we're kind of out of order. That is
Jae.
That guy.
And
to the right again,
Warren.
We take it down low.
Shawn, Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy holidays. Happy New Year.
Our favorite elf,
Logan.
Logan dog.
And there's only one way that we know how to close this out. We're going to do it our way. No matter if we won, we lost, we appreciate y'all. Happy holidays. But this is how we close it out. God bless. Happy holidays. And go Birds.
Country Wild Eagles podcast, man. Salute, bro. Deshaun Daddy.